Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. I'm Reed Price. I'm here with Brian Anderson. We're going to talk about the upcoming Electrification Expo, which is this weekend. Before we would get started, though, I want to thank Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island, which sponsors Something to Talk About. We're grateful for the sponsors of the Senior Community Center. They offer independent living, assisted living, and daycare, memory care up on Rolling Bay at their campus. They have a lovely campus up there. They also do have day stay and respite care programs. To learn more or tour their facility, call Celia or Jamie at 206-594-1010. Check them out at fieldstonecommunities.com. Also, we are meeting on the ancestral homeland of the Suquamish people, the people of the clear salt water, who have been living on these waters and these lands next to the Salish Sea since time immemorial. We are grateful for their stewardship, and we are learning from it about how to be better stewards ourselves of these land and waters, which kind of joins into what we're going to talk about today with Brian about the Electrification Expo, because I think that the things that we do about how we get our energy make a big difference on the impact we have more widely than just what it might mean for ourselves. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, it really does, Reed. Thank you. And good afternoon, everyone. I want to first start by thanking the Senior Center for giving us this opportunity to talk about an event happening this Saturday, 3 short days away. This year's event is the Bainbridge Island Environmental Conference and Electrification Exposition. It will take place Saturday, September 14th, between noon and 5 at Woodward Elementary School. The event will offer ideas on how you can lower the impact on the environment, improve your own health and the health of our community, all while saving you money. Not only will you hear from speakers and vendors who are experts in these technologies, but you'll also get a chance to talk to homeowners who have already adopted them. The Bainbridge Island Environmental Conference has a rich history. As many of you know, I'm sure you've attended the annual event at some point in the past. It's been going on for over 20 years. And they have a rich, diverse set of topics. In the past, they've covered things like the forest health on Bainbridge Island, protecting our waters, sea level rise in the Bainbridge Island shoreline, and many more. The annual conference is organized by 5 different groups: Sustainable Bainbridge, the Bainbridge Island Parks and Trails Foundation, Bainbridge Island Land Trust, Islandwood, and EcoAdapt. This year's event came about through conversations between those conference organizers and a group of volunteers who organized last year's electric vehicle fair, of which I'm part of that group. It was the second year we had done that electric vehicle fair. You may think back to prior to COVID in 2019, we did another one. It was actually at the Baptist Church at Madison and 305. This year we got together, we considered doing another electric vehicle event, and we thought, kind of the state of electric vehicles have really moved on. You can see many of them around Bainbridge Island. A lot of people are up to speed on what it takes to own an electric vehicle, the charging and that kind of stuff. So we wanted to broaden the topic out to do more than just electric vehicles. We wanted to help people electrify their entire home and their entire life. So we got together with the organizers of the environmental conference, and we decided to do a joint event where we would have a program of speakers and panels focused on home electrification and efficiency, as well as an exposition, which includes vendors with products and services and advice for how to adopt these technologies. So these 2 events it's one event, but the program is going to run simultaneously with the expo. So like many conferences that you can go to, you can go and hear a speaker, and then you can go and walk around on the exhibit floor. You can go back and forth, or you can listen to all of the speakers, and then you can go and walk around and talk to vendors and other exhibitors. So now I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, yeah, I'm wondering when I look at the schedule, it looks like it may be a little challenging to decide when you're going to go look at the vendors, because the speeches, the presentations look pretty interesting as well inside Woodward.
Yeah. Yeah. So one participant can share at a time.
That should be you.
Go.
There we go. It's
Can you
coming
see
in.
that?
And there's the schedule of events.
Great. So the conference portion starts at noon, and we'll start with the Environmentalist of the Year award. And this year it's going to Christine Perkins. She has been a docent at Islandwood since 2015. She's served on the board of Sustainable Bainbridge since 2016. And she served as board president for Sustainable Bainbridge for 2 years. For the last 8 years, she was the chair of the Bainbridge Island Beach Cleanup and the Celebrate Trees events.
Yes, she was just on this call to talk about the fact that the beach cleanup is coming up this weekend as well.
Oh, great. You know, I haven't had a chance to meet her, so I'm looking forward to talking with her at the conference. The keynote address will be by Brian Stewart, and he is the co-founder of Electrify Now, which is an organization devoted to educating homeowners and consumers about how to lower their electricity bills, lower their carbon footprint, and make their lives healthier. This will be followed by 5 breakout sessions. The format of these will be panels, which will include one expert on the topic, which might be a vendor for a particular technology, but the rest of the panel will be homeowners from Puget Sound, or excuse me, from Bainbridge Island or Kitsap County, who have already adopted the technology that is going to be discussed. So it's going to be very short little introductory words. It's not going to be long presentations. It's going to be almost entirely a QA session for people to ask the panel questions about their experiences. First topic is going to be getting started on electrification. That'll be led by Brian Stewart, our keynote speaker of Electrify Now. The second one will be on solar panels, how to get credits back through PSE, payback period, many other topics around installing solar panels on your roof or garage. Local actions on transitioning to clean energy. This will be led by 2 members of the Bainbridge Island Climate Change Advisory Committee, Mike Cox and Kevin Thomas. And they're going to talk about actions that the city is taking to reduce its carbon emissions and actions that the city is taking to adapt to the inevitable impacts of climate change that we will be experiencing. The 4th breakout session is about heat pumps and water heaters, purchasing advantages, and the 5th session is on electric vehicles, purchasing, charging both at home and on the road, everybody's favorite topic, who owns an electric car, range anxiety. And then the electrification exposition portion will start at 1 o'clock. We have about 30 vendors and exhibitors, including solar vendors, heat pump vendors, vendors that make your house more efficient, electric car dealers, including a Tesla dealer, which is going to show us one of those Tesla Cybertrucks, which you may have noticed, a very strange space-age looking vehicle driving around the island that looks like it would better fit on the surface of Mars or the moon. That is a Tesla Cybertruck. Bainbridge Island BI Cycle will be there showing electric bikes. Greg Dronkert from Pac Westy will be there. Pac Westy rents converted VW vans. Many of them have been converted to battery power. A group called Kicking Gas, which is devoted to helping move your home off of natural gas and propane. A table letting people know about the federal energy subsidies and rebates that you can apply for. We tried to get somebody from the federal government or the state government to speak about this, and unfortunately we're not able to, but we did find an expert named B. Dixon who really knows about this, and she will help people figure out which subsidies and rebates that you can apply for in making your home and your life more energy efficient. City of Bainbridge Island will have a table, Bainbridge Island Parks and Recreation, and there will be a couple political organizations. Bainbridge Island Citizens Climate Lobby will be there. I'm sure we'll be talking about voting no on Initiative 2117. For those of you who have not heard about this initiative, which will be on the ballot in November, it would repeal the state's Climate Commitment Act. So be sure to visit their table and you can hear about what the impacts of that would be on our state and in particular our ferry system. And what expo would be complete without some food vendors? We have two this year, Auntie Dolly's, and if you're a regular like me at the Bainbridge Island Farmers Market, you may have had some of their great African food. And this year we also have a vendor from Poulsbo, Juicy J's Smoked Burgers. I wandered in there, it's down along the waterfront in Poulsbo one time, expecting to have a nice big juicy burger. I wasn't disappointed, but found out it was a plant-based burger. So they will be there as well. Sponsors of the event include Puget Sound Energy. Let me show the list of vendors and exhibitors. Puget Sound Energy, the Rotary Club of Bainbridge Island Chamber of Commerce, City of Bainbridge Island. So why should you come to this event? Learn how to save money through reducing your consumption of gas, gasoline, electricity, how to take advantage of incentives and subsidies, which were included in the Inflation Reduction Act passed by Congress a couple of years ago. Improve your health and those around you by reducing the fumes that we breathe from our oil and gas powered lawn and garden tools from our appliances, and learn how to make your home and life more comfortable and energy efficient and reduce your carbon footprint. Not only will you get to hear from speakers, vendors, and experts in these technologies, but you'll get a chance to talk to homeowners who have already adopted them. I hope to see you there. Saturday, noon, Woodward Elementary.
Great. It looks wonderful. And although we think of a lot of our parts of our home as already electrified, you did hint at the idea that there are things that we use that we might not realize or think about, like lawn and garden equipment that can be easily updated with an electric version. I know that I found it easier to push my electric lawnmower than it was to operate the gas-powered version. And so
Yeah,
there are
they're a
other things
lot
like that.
lighter. I also upgraded to an electric lawnmower, and I really like not having to deal with the gasoline, spilling it, running to the gas station at the last minute to finish mowing my lawn, and I really don't like breathing the gas fumes either.
So in your experience of and putting this together, it looks like an enormous and valuable program. This is going to be of interest not only to homeowners, but to people who are renting or living in a condo situation.
Yeah, it would be. Things like the solar panels and the heat pumps would not be targeted for that audience, but other things in your life, maybe you are involved in, I don't know, maybe you still use garden tools in some ways to work in your yard. Your vehicle, your electric car, you may be interested in getting an electric car. So there are other things that renters could learn about as well.
And I'm wondering, are there specific well, it sounds like there's going to be some look at the political aspects, the way we can advocate and support in our wider community less carbon intense activities.
Yeah, the political activities, like I mentioned, the initiative 2117 to reduce the Washington State's Climate Commitment Act. That is the main political. Let me look through the list real quick here. Yeah, that's the only overtly political one that I'm aware of. There is a group called Zero Club 30, which is a group of people who are getting together and working just on reducing their own individual carbon footprints. And they have a lot of good advice and a very interesting website that anybody could talk to, including renters, on how to reduce your carbon footprint in your life.
And Brian, you indicated that you were involved in the earlier expos, the vehicles and scooters and bicycles and so forth.
Yeah, yeah.
They've certainly become more common, and there are more choices. Does it seem as though some of those questions, like of course, range anxiety, which you mentioned earlier, are are being answered. More and more people are either going to hybrid electric or EV vehicles.
Yeah, the situation is improving all of the time as there are more public charging stations available, particularly along highways and I-5. It's getting slowly, not fast enough, in my opinion, easier to take long distance trips. Depending on where you're going and how much of a hurry you're in, it can still slow you down compared to a gas vehicle or cause you to maybe reroute. But the situation is improving enormously and has over the last 5 years.
That's true not only for Teslas, which have sort of been focused on the network as they grew, but for other vehicles, other EVs as well.
Yeah, for other EVs as well. And the other thing that's happened is the range has increased enormously. So I bought the first generation highway, mass-produced electric vehicle, a Nissan Leaf in 2012, I think that was. And it had a range of 100 miles when it was brand new. And of course, it started going down from there. Um, we recently bought a Kia Niro. It has a range, and this is not one of the more expensive electric cars. It's certainly not in the range of the price of a Tesla. And it has a range of 253 miles. So we mostly use it around the island. We end up only charging it about once a week or so. And so it's just a lot more convenient, a lot less hassle to worry about. Am I going to run out of charge when I need to go over to Seattle or to Silverdale or Bremerton or something like that?
And you enjoy that experience you were just talking about with the lawnmower, where you don't have to worry about trying to, if you're starting from home, you're charged up.
Right. Yeah, all you need to do is remember to put the battery back in the charging station when you're done cutting it. I've moved all of my lawn and garden tools to electric weed whacker, except one, which is my chainsaw. And that's mostly because I've been borrowing my neighbor's plug-in electric chainsaw for the last few years, and I haven't started up my chainsaw, but I'll
That
probably
may
do
be
away with
next.
that soon as well.
Great. I don't know, Margaret, Margie, do you have a question, or Marcy? Otherwise, I want to thank you, Brian, for taking the time and encourage people to show up at noon or a little after at Woodward this weekend. It sounds like, as we've said, a wonderful event. And if you'd like to learn more, I'll put a link in the description box down below to the environmental conference website, which is on the Sustainable Bainbridge website. So thank you very much, and see you on Saturday, somewhere between noon and 5.
Great. Thank you, Reed.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming by.